And it's so funny how this works now in 2025 with the internet being what it is. That's where things go down. That is where things actually happen. And though sometimes it seems a little bit mysterious and stupid, it actually sometimes is a very real thing. We're talking AFC East. No, we're not talking Bills again. No, we're not talking Patriots, as though I wish we were. And no, we're not talking about the Jets, although they probably deserve some airtime. We're talking about the Dolphins. Well, a little bit of a Twitter conversation here. At Dolphin Man Jared puts out biggest draft night player trade candidate. And then at Jason_OTC says probably Tyreek Hill. Oh, that's an interesting thought. Shout out to Mr. OTC there, Mr. Jason, looking spiffy in the profile picture. And then a guy we know quite well, Tyreek Hill, Mr. Cheetah, puts up the deuces sign in a quote tweet.
Boy.
So what do you make of this? Because obviously his post-game presser after the last game of the season was pretty loud. Definitely made some noise there. But is this just internet banter, or is this actually Tyreek is just fed up? Something's gone down. I don't know if he's had another kid up in I don't even know where he'd be traded to, but another city. Is he out of there? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see him getting traded. And this isn't some burner account, actually. This is Jason Fitzgerald of Over the Cap that gave
OTC.
this Over the Cap. It's a website that's just like kind of like Spot Track that talks about the salary cap. So teams, it's a really cool website. You should check it out if you haven't. If you're a football fan, just especially right now for agency and draft and all that stuff. Tyreek Hill, obviously, as you mentioned, didn't have a amazing press conference. And if you've been the Miami Dolphins over the last couple of years since getting Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs, I don't know if you've had warm and fuzzies, right? You've had Jalen Waddle, who's supposed to step up and do some big things, and Tyreek Hill. Now, he's been a great wide receiver, don't get me wrong. But there's also another side, kind of like going back to this Harbaugh conversation. There's a half of Dolphins fans. I don't know if it's half. I don't know if it's 50-50. I don't have a poll of all NFL fans right now, Nick. I don't have that. But what I'm saying is that we do need it. We need to have that at our discretion at all times. But for some reason, it's not in the it's not in the funds at the moment. Tyreek Hill had a great season. I mean, he was up at the top of receiving yards. I don't know if he led it a couple years ago. I can't remember, but I know he's up there. And then there's another half where people I see on social media all the time. I used to write for the Miami Marlins, so I have a lot of Dolphins fans on my Twitter feed. And they would talk about how overpaid Tyreek Hill is, right? And it baffles me. It baffles me to think that you're asking for arguably one of the best receivers in the league over the last decade for speed. Now, Xavier Worthy, now the Chief that's kind of replaced Tyreek Hill, might have taken that from him. But when you look at this wide receiver group in the draft this year, and if you're the Miami Dolphins, who are, dare I say, in a desperate need for a reset, and you have an offensive mastermind head coach, I mean, speed always doesn't work. Ask the Raiders with Darius Hayward-Bay a couple years ago. I mean, more than a couple years ago. That might have been before you were born, sir. Ask about Darius Hayward-Bay. Ask about that speed, right? It's just not, it doesn't work out. So,
well, yeah, speed and the Raiders don't really go together either. So
that's true. I kind of would like to see the trade happen. If I had to take a guess on who he'd get traded to, that screams Dallas Cowboys to me, though.
Really? Oof.
That screams a Dallas Cowboys.
That means Jerry Jones has to make a move, though.
Yeah, well, he hasn't yet. He likes to make moves at the draft. He likes to sit in his little situation room and get on the TV and being on that phone looking like he's all big and powerful. I could totally see on draft day, maybe not the first night, because I don't think a first-round pick would be involved if it's the Cowboys, because that's a top 15 pick. I think they're picking 12, if I remember correctly right now. I think you could trade maybe a second or third in the package to get Tyreek Hill. That could be a Friday night trade. We might see Tyreek Hill on the move.
Going to the Cowboys is wild. You were right, actually. They are picking 12. Kudos to you. Just double check that at this time. Certified ball knower, Mr. Rao. I got a question for you. You mentioned Xavier Worthy in there.
Yeah,
seems a little bit like that speed kills kind of wide receiver. Back in when Tyreek got into the league, it wasn't as utilized, and then the Chiefs found a way. And then it's a copycat league, and everyone figures out how to get these speed demons the ball in open space. especially with the transition towards these offensive-minded head coaches, these offensive gurus like Mike McDaniels. Is Tyreek on the back end of his career kind of the reason Xavier Worthy can have success, and that's why we're still like thinking that Tyreek Hill is like a really valid wide receiver option, or is he truly kind of on the back end of his career where it's like he's just kind of living off of that true speed of 2020, 2019, whatever it was? You understand the question I'm getting at here? Is it just kind
Yeah.
of a mindset we've got?
I think both can be true, actually. I think Tyreek Hill can still be great at what he does. I don't think his speed has slowed down too much. Now, obviously, with age, that goes a little bit. But I also think that he can be a very good wide receiver one still on a team. If he was traded to the Dallas Cowboys, him and CeeDee Lamb would be a very dangerous duo. And you mentioned this whole thing with speed kills and all these things like that. I blame that on next gen stats. I blame that on AWS, all these analytics that have came out, finding the fact that how important separation is. And they found ways to, get the defenses off guard and find spaces and stuff. Analytics has really helped that game. So, but I will say this, there's a lot of fast players in this NFL draft. Now, it might not be Xavier Restrepo, a Miami Hurricane,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, this 40-yard. Now, we did see that
Oh,
he was hurt for that. This is probably the farthest I'll go on that joke. But no, you know what? Whatever. Hurricane, Miami Dolphin, might as well put them together. Restrepo, what do you run, a 4.8? But there's another Texas runner or wide receiver, and Isaiah Bond, who's very fast. If Miami can find a way to dish out Tyreek Hill, who has rumored in the past saying he's only going to play a few more years before he retires. And if I remember, I think he said he wanted to be a porn star. So
I think he did, actually. You might be right about that.
So I don't know how that'll go, but
if
hey,
if anyone can do it, Tyreek can do it. He would really
how do
draw
you
some
know?
eyes in.
Oh, okay.
I mean, are you kidding me? He's I know.
I thought you knew something that I didn't know.
This is general knowledge here. I'm a certified ball knower, apparently. That was what put me over the edge.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna let you have that one.
That's crazy. My bad. All right. So I do, you mentioned he's gonna be a wide receiver one no matter where he goes.
He wouldn't be at Dallas. No, I think CeeDee Lamb would still be the CeeDee. I think he still has the capability to be wide receiver one.
Like, what about the Patriots? That's the one that gets thrown. Obviously, be interdivisional.
He would be the starter over Diggs, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, that's so. He's where would you tier him? Probably A tier. Not S tier, but A tier, kind of that.
Yeah.
Middle.
Now, just because his speed has probably gone a little lower. He's older. I mean, reaction time's a little bit slower. Obviously, still faster than me. There's no doubt about that. Separation's still going to be something that you can make happen. But I would say high A plus.
Interesting. Yeah, I think if Tyreek and I went one-on-one, I'd probably win 1 out of 1,000. And that one is the one he took a water break on. I mean, he's obviously generational, and still, that's the thing. But I wonder.
I would need a 39-yard head start to beat him in the 40-yard dash.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think it would? How far ahead would you have to be? I would say 20 yards.
I would say at least 20 yards, man. At least. Yeah. At least.
He's so fast, though. Him and Noah Lyles, right? The track star.
Lyles, yeah. Did they do it? Did it happen?
I think it's coming up maybe this summer.
Ooh, okay.
Who do you got? Lyles is talking. Lyles is talking.
I mean, I gotta go with the brand. Gotta take Cheetah, man. Gotta stick with the league.
There's no, I can't. You could never take Lyles, I don't think, if you're a true ball knower. Now,
yeah, I'm okay with being wrong. But I'll never pick Lyles. No way.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Are you a trader, or are you going to back the NFL? Do you back
Cam Hayward could be racing against Lyles? I'm taking Cam Hayward.
What about Xavier Restrepo?
I mean, hamstring and all. Like, I've seen some things on Facebook Reels these days. I don't know how I got down this niche, and I don't even know why it got on my Reels. But algorithms are crazy like that. But I see these new things with like physical therapists where they say, make a fake hamstring with me. And they like tape around their hamstrings, and they do all this taping, like athletic tape, to make like the leg feel like it's got a like an
Oh
actual
yeah.
hamstring. You have seen that?
Hmm.
Restrepo could use that against Lyles, and I think he'd
Could.
be fine. I think he'd
He'd
be
be
fine.
fine. I've
Yeah.
I've done some of those tape jobs. I took an athletic training course at the University of Iowa State,
Oh,
and it's very odd. It really is. They do it on you first, just to show you what it should feel like. Because obviously, classmate to classmate, the tape job probably not A plus, probably not up to the standard, but they'll do it on you, and then you walk around, and it's like I have a fully functioning Achilles. So this is like I've got super boost on my Achilles, but I could very well see how this would like actually aid in someone who has an Achilles injury and reduce. It is wild, the
it's like pumping up your
capabilities of
Reeboks,
tape.
but for your hamstring.